So we are here with Brendan from Nieves. Can you tell us a wee bit about Nieves?
Sure. So we are a four-piece who have been together now for, maybe 7 years, as much as that,
Oh,
6,
okay.
7 years. And we started out just myself and the keys player, and had been writing music. We met through a mutual friend and put some music out on Facebook at the time, and it was kind of just for us. It was just for fun, and we got picked up by a management company down south who liked one of the songs and said they wanted to could we do more, and could we go down and meet them, and that kind of gave us the kind of impetus to start doing it more seriously all of a sudden. And then that was when Ross and Marty joined the band, and from there we've kind of, it's just happened pretty organically.
Okay, very nice. Out of all the songs you've ever written, what one has got the most meaning to you?
Winter was the song that got us kind of picked up at the start, and it's the one that most of the good stuff that's happened for us has been because of that song. But I don't really want to say that song, because if I have to go and we go to a gig to play new material or like the new album, and there's just people shouting play Winter, and you're like, oh no, but we have written other songs now. So not that one. I would say Exist and Expire, which is the album title track.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie, that's my personal favourite. But
nobody ever says that, so that's good.
I think so. The first time I saw you guys, you were playing at the Hug and Pint, and Chloe actually was like, I'm going to see Nieves, you're coming with me. No idea who you were.
Yep.
And that was the song that stuck with me, and it was such an incredible show. But that song was just...
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, we enjoyed playing that one live. Like, I don't even know how it became the title track of the album, because it wasn't it wasn't an obvious single, or it wasn't but I think just the concept of the album, so much of it's about like life being really finite, and not letting it pass you by, and that song kind of it really kind of encompassed all that. So yeah.
Very good. So obviously the past year and a half, 2 years now almost, has been really tough for everyone.
Yeah.
But have you found any of the time during lockdown to be quite beneficial for you as an artist?
It's been good for songwriting, a particular kind of brand of songwriting, which is like, more miserable than even usual for us. We're always pretty miserable. But our lockdown's been really hectic because all four of us had a kid. in the lockdown period.
Yeah, okay.
So it was good creatively. Like, we've got myself and the guitarist, I've got quite a lot of ideas we're taking into next year. But in terms of actually physically being able to do anything, we were like changing nappies.
Yeah.
So
difficult to play the guitar and change the nappy.
It certainly
at the same
is.
Time.
Yeah, I'd rather have been playing the guitar. That smells better.
Yeah. So, are there any artists at the moment that have caught your eye coming out the Scottish music scene?
Well, our supports for the two shows we played last week were Foreign Fox and Linburn, which is Fraser McIntyre, and they were both great. Like, we've known Foreign Fox for a while, but they've just recorded a couple of new songs with Bruce Rentoul, and those two tunes live were amazing. Ooh. So I'm really looking forward to them coming out. One of them's already out, The Long Jump, and that was like totally took me aback live. So I think they're great. And that was the first time I'd seen Linburn songs. He'd just been recommended as a support, and he was really good as well. And I think he's got a lot more to come from him. Other than that, we kind of it's no one brand new like Van Ives. I really enjoy listening to them. Sorry. There's a band, a total pet band for me that I love because I loved the old lineup. Is Slime City.
Yeah.
So they were We Are the Physics, and three of them are now Slime City, and they're pure nice guys, and they're bonkers. The music's amazing.
Yeah. Fun fact: I have an original We Are the Physics T-shirt because
Sames.
They supported. I'm sure it was Casty. They supported like 10 years ago.
Yep.
First ever gig I went to.
Yep.
And my aunt was like, right, we're getting you a souvenir. And that is what she got me, and I still have it, and it's my first bit of merch. And
they're
all
amazing.
Yeah, they're so good.
I haven't been to see them as Slime City, and I'm gutted because it's supposed to be like, I've heard there's a shoe and all sorts involved in the live set. It just sounds amazing. They're class.
Yeah, they are. So how have you found being a part of the Scottish music scene?
So we've been about for a while, and I think it's probably an old cliche, like the music business is pretty grim at times, even at our level. Do you know, we're not obviously the biggest, and you encounter a lot of people that, you know, are clearly in it to make a quick buck and kind of really keen to take advantage of you, and we have seen a lot of that, as well as some really lovely people as well. So over the years, I think we've had our fingers burnt a lot of times, but I think every band will tell you that they've had their fingers burnt, and that's been in Glasgow or down south, or
it's all over the place.
Yeah, so when our general kind of ethos is, when you meet a good person, be it like a promoter or a whatever it is, you cling on for dear life. So the folk that we've kind of clung on to are amazing, you know. But we've met some snakes.
So that's quite a nice way to put it, I would say. It always baffles me when people are in the industry to make a quick buck, because I'm like, how?
Where is it? Was that money?
I'm like, are we doing it wrong?
Nah.
Or have you just found like this magical leprechaun that's got money pouring out their ears? And I'm like, what are you doing? How have you managed this, and why are you being such a snake about it?
As a band, my least favourite thing is like people having 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So you'll meet someone, and at the time it serves their interest to kind of court your favour, and they'll really make a big effort to get in with you and talk about you, and it becomes clear within days that they're doing that with a scattergun approach, and as soon as something that they feel might be more beneficial to them's there, you're dropped really fast. And I think what I hate about that is, in any other walk of your life, like your private life, anyone like that you would never associate with, because it's so disingenuous. But that's rife, and I think it's kind of rife in Glasgow, like which is a shame, but I suppose that's the business.
I hate to say it is what it is, but it's been like that for so long that I think it's kind of one of those things that it'll be almost impossible to get out. It is very much, and it's those people that are like key to the scene as well that I've found, and you're kind of like, I don't really want to piss you off, but you've pissed me off, and I'm like, I need to be diplomatic about this.
Well, we kind of, like you'll have seen from our social media, or lack of, and a lack of the kind of, we're pretty invisible at times, but it's because we kind of functionally made a decision that we weren't going to play that game at all. So we just work with the people that we really trust and do the stuff we enjoy doing, and we're super guarded about anybody else.
Exactly. I think it's the
we're
best
hermits.
way to be.
We're hermits. We're hermits. It's
with
working
it.
really, really well. We're massive. We're massive. That's why, because we're hermits.
I mean, sometimes I think that's the best way to be. You either play that game and I think you need to be quite switched on if you're going to play that game, but I don't know. It never really sits right with me. I'm a wee bit like, I don't want to play that game. Pay to... No, that's a pet peeve.
That's been around forever as well, and it's... I feel so. That's the one thing. I'm like, see, like new bands, like young bands that are just starting, the people who are playing that kind of game are so good at it that you would never really know they were being disingenuous. So by the time you've realised, you've wasted 5 good years of being strung along, you know. So
you always hear horror stories of bands being like, oh yeah, I got this much for this, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And they're like, is that not good? And I'm like, no. What are you doing?
And I know, and if you hear it from enough people, you would just believe that's the way it works. But yeah, hopefully, I think with social media, it's got out more that, you know, people are being quite public about negative experiences they've had with promoters. But there's always going to be monopolies. Like and then there's where you've got power, you've got just people being a bit cheeky about it. But
I mean, I think it is getting better. It's not as like you say, there's social media people are talking about it now, but it is getting better. I think it's just taking its sweet time to get more.
The positive, like obviously I've just been like slagged Glasgow, but one of the positives is like the people who are doing something creative, be it like folk like yourselves and the bands, generally they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're all lovely and like really will help you out, and especially and Glasgow in particular is really good for that.
Yeah.
You know, like sharing gear and getting to know folk that way. I rarely meet someone that's doing something creative and think, oh Jesus, like, what are you trying to get out of this situation?
Yeah.
It's the structure around it that's...
Yeah, it's more the businessy side behind it. It's like, it's not a lot of it's the acts. It's the acts are all, for what I've seen, are all generally pretty much in it for the music.
Yep.
But it's behind the scenes,
which
is unfortunate. But I suppose it's the same with every business you go into.
I'm sure.
So, is there anything exciting in the works that you can talk about that you've got going on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll only find out here because we won't put it on social media. And, you know, we're not gonna. The two plans for next year are we're going to take some of the material that we've written over the last 18 months over the finish line. So, there'll be single releases definitely next year.
Perfect.
And we'd also quite like to take to rework some of the album tracks acoustically and maybe take a sort of acoustic show out in some weird small venues and so they're the two things that we're kind of two irons in the fire at the moment. But nothing happens fast when you've got like hundreds of kids.
Yeah, I suppose a couple of newborns kind of puts the brakes on things a wee bit, but it's quite exciting. Be excited to hear some new stuff and to hopefully come along to some weird acoustic show.
Oh, for sure. Yep. We'll definitely let you know.
So where can people find you guys and your music?
We are on Facebook, although, I mean, you know, one post every 2 years, so don't get your hopes up.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
Twitter and Instagram's probably the best place to follow us because, you know, it's just a picture you can put up and it appeals to the laziness of the band. So yeah, Instagram, I think it's just Nieves Glasgow. You can find us there.
Okay, perfect. And finally, I've got a bit of a themed question for you.
Oh.
What's your favourite part of Christmas dinner?
Wow. Do you know what? Sorry, vegetarians and vegans, but it's the stuffing, which is like, God knows what's in it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter though. Doesn't matter. I would eat that just with a shovel itself.
Yep.
That's the best.
Yeah, because you get like the cranberry and orange and pork and apple
all of it.
And it's so good.
All of it.
Oh, pork and sage.
Oh yeah, the classic. That's a classic. That's a real classic. But all of it, I would eat stuff, and I don't know why I don't eat it more. I would eat it every day.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd get sick of it if I ate it every day, but more often.
It's not something you think about very often because you don't see it in shops unless you're like actively looking for it. It's not like it's like you get like the wee like chipolatas. They're always in the shop.
Yep.
But like,
why not stuffing? It can't. It's just sausage meat and that. It can't be that hard to.
Yeah, I think you can get like frozen stuff or like, but like I think my mum, what she does is she bulk buys it and then she'll store it throughout the year. So then we've got like stuff. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I'm leaving the band because that's actually a great business idea. All year round stuffing. 365 stuffing. That's what it's called.
There we go. Trademark it. Make sure no one nicks
Get that in there.
Well, I think that rounds us off perfectly. So thank you very much for taking the time to come and speak with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.